Today I'm going to talk to you about Guimarães. Guimarães is a city in Portugal, and it was the city where Portugal was born. It's about 80 kilometers from Porto, 10 to 15 kilometers from Braga. You can access by bus, car or train, and if you arrive by train, which is the most comfortable way to reach Guimarães from Porto, and you're probably going to be visiting Porto, so if you spend about a week here, it's really good because you can visit Guimarães, Braga, the Douro Valley, Aveiro, and you have loads of things to do in Portugal. Do not visit just Porto or Lisboa. Now back to Guimarães. Why is it so special? Well, first of all, Portugal was born here. Our king, our first king, Dom Afonso Henriques, actually lived there. It's a small city, as you can see, compared by the stadium size, but it has lots of things to offer. First of all, historic center was completely renovated, and it's literally a medieval city in a great condition. To take photos, to visit, and to eat typical stuff, this is the city. Also, since it's a very mountainous area, you can have awesome views of the surroundings by visiting the nearby Peña by car or by a telepheric cable car that goes from the center of the town to the top of the hill. Let me see if I have a nice picture of Peña. Now the church itself, it's very recent. It's nothing special, but it's also very pretty. But the views are amazing. That's Guimarães, that's the stadium you saw, and that's one of the oldest hotels, and that's the historic center with the castle over here and the Palácio Duques de Bragança. That's also a very special place, and a small church that we can see. The remaining surroundings are very pretty, and over there it's Sameiro and Braga, the other city. At Santuário de Penha, it's also a very pretty forestry with nature and stuff. You can walk if you want. It's very beautiful and very typical of this region, these rocks and these forests over here, these woods. If you're into that stuff, yeah, it's the perfect place. So if you arrive by train, you arrive probably at the main station over here. You have the Alfa Pendular and the Intercidades. The Intercidades, it's much cheaper, and it takes about 10 minutes longer, which doesn't compensate you paying 20 euros more. So now when you arrive, you go through this avenue into one of the main spots for pictures in Guimarães, which is Igreja Church Nossa Senhora da Conceição. If you want to visit Guimarães, you probably already saw this church, and you arrive to the historic center where you have you can ramble around. It's very interesting. This is Largo do Doral. It's also a historic place. It's over here, and some festivities occur in this square, such as stealing things from the city and placing them over here. Yes, that's tradition. Also over here, it's the new Plataforma das Artes. It's a new building that some events occur here, like TED editions and stuff like that. It used to be a market. You also have museums with beautiful facades, stuff like that. If you want to, spend a bit more time around Guimarães. Over here, near the Jardim Público and near the Igreja da Conceição, there's a spot that's not really known for the majority of the tourists, that it's an old area where people used to, near the river, where people used to make paint for the clothes. I know what's the translation of that, but it's quite pretty. And there's a house over the river, something different. It's not on the map. Back to the city, you can see two things when you arrive here. That's the old wall that goes to the top, to the Dukes of Bragança and to the castle. Here there's a small sanctuary. That's the main road to the Largo of Toral. That's the church, and that's Penha. Here you have some nice restaurants. I recommend the burger stop over here. It's very good. And if you go to the center of the town, you arrive to the cathedral and to the main monuments that you already probably saw when searching for the city. The church itself is pretty. If you are into it, I advise you to visit. If not, well, just out of curiosity, you could check the side of the church over here. That nobody took a photo, but there was an ancient, not that ancient, but an old system for the firefighters to know if there was a fire. So if there was a fire over here, they would press a button, and through an hydraulic system they would be warned that there was a fire over here. And the old structure of that system is over here and also near this area, and it's an interesting thing that does not appear on the map. Near here you can find loads of great coffee spots with typical Portuguese stuff, and as you can see, the city itself, it's incredible. All these buildings were renovated and they look as they looked hundreds of years ago. Now, on top of the hill, you have the old castle that's free for visiting until 2016, and I think it's still free. You can walk around, you can visit, this is the castle of our first king, and it looks exactly the same. Over here you have Church São Miguel do Castelo, which was the church where apparently he was baptized, and you can go inside. It's also free and it looks really, really ancient. Then a little bit down you have the statue of our king, which is a very, very famous statue in Portugal. You probably saw that. It's pretty cool. And then you have the Paço dos Duques de Bragança, which you have to pay to get in. But if you are into old medieval stuff, it's really, really worth it. And that church over here inside the Palacio, it's amazing. It's really, really good. You should visit. Now, the city also offers some interesting restaurants. If you are into sweets, then you can visit Manjar dos Doces near the Largo do Doral. It offers cheesecake and natas, etc. Also, near Largo do Doral, you can see part of the wall. This is a very interesting coffee, Portuguese coffee, good. And this is private part of the wall. It's owned by a person, and you can take a picture that says here was born Portugal. Yeah, it's an interesting spot. And you can eat then at Manjar dos Doces. Other places. If you're into sushi and it's not Portuguese, but it's really good, it's Campai Sushi Guimarães. It's in the side of the shopping. You can park the car here and then it's free to park. And then you can eat here and then go explore the city. You can also eat at Dan's Finger Food and Drinks. It's a great place. It's mostly burgers, but they have great variety of burgers, and it's really good. And if you are interested in something typical, you can go at the new restaurant of Nora do Zé da Curva. It's pretty close to the center of the city, and I advise you to eat the breast of a duck, breast duck. It's really good. So I think that's it. It's a very short summary of Guimarães, but I hope it excited you to try to visit the city if you visit